Okay, hello everybody. My name is Bryan Gage. I'm a professional fine artist and industrial designer. Today I'm going to be showing you how to design your own sports car in side view. Now if you just kind of follow along with me, this is going to go relatively quick. This is really kind of a video to kind of teach you how we design a car in side perspective. Now, kind of bear in mind that these lines are not perfect. These wheels are not perfect, and that's not really the idea of the sketch. It's not really to make a kind of a perfect rendering. We're not quite there yet, but this is really kind of just to understand our basic proportions of a car. Okay, and because this is a sports car, we have to really kind of keep in mind our general proportions of a vehicle. Now, if you notice here down at the bottom, I did 5 circles, and these are basically the same length and width of our wheels that we've created for ourselves. Now, remember, for a sports car, it's about 5 across, generally speaking. And when it comes to the height of our car, it's about 2 high. Now, it kind of depends on what you're drawing, of course. If you're drawing a truck, it's going to be, sometimes 6 or 7 wheels in width. In height, it's going to be maybe sometimes 3. It generally kind of depends on what type of car you're actually going to be designing. This is a sports car, so our length of the vehicle is much shorter, and our height is much shorter as well. So these are kind of the general proportions that we talk about when it comes to designing a sports car in side perspective like this. Now, this is kind of what we call a thumbnail sketch. If you notice today, I'm actually using a digital software called Autodesk Sketchbook. From here, we go ahead and do our A-pillar. And then I'm going to try and kind of quickly mock out our essential kind of silhouette lines. Now, I do this really kind of loosely and quickly. And this is just kind of figure out kind of visually what it is we're going to be working with when it comes to the silhouette of our car. And I'm going to get rid of these wheels, just kind of help out the eye when it comes to kind of understanding this automotive sketch that we're dealing with today. Now, the silhouette is really the most important aspect of our design. Now, the silhouette, if you're not familiar with kind of automotive design or design in general, the silhouette shape is our most important shape, and it's just kind of this outer line that kind of gives our character. Now, whether it's a basketball shoe, everything has kind of a silhouette shape, right? And these silhouette shapes, or if it's like a Coke can, right? Everything has a general shape, like a heart. This is what we call our kind of silhouette, and it's that outer line. This is generally really important when it comes to kind of designing anything. But our sports car is going to have kind of a very lean look to it. Kind of reminds me of the Crossfire car that was created by Chrysler, gosh, about, I don't know, 15 years ago? I'm getting old, I just showed my age. Okay. So, our design is starting to take shape. Right, we're kind of just adding emphasis here and there. I'm going to go in and kind of use our digital eraser as well and kind of start to clean up some of these areas that need a little bit of help. I'm going to go back over with my pencil. I'm going to kind of speed this line up a little. That's a little bit better. You want to kind of get in here and grab some of the corners as well. And all of this kind of adds to the overall shape and feel of our car. Remember that this is a sculpture. It's essentially a living, breathing kind of a sculpture. And this is what all cars basically are. From here you can start to add our lights. Maybe any kind of bumper details. Don't forget about your wheels. Lots of automotive design students tend to forget about their wheels, or they leave them because they're not that important. but they are kind of important to understanding the basic feeling of lines when it comes to our design sketch. Okay, now remember, this is just a very fast and loose means of kind of understanding our basic lines and proportions of a car. Now, what I also suggest is always kind of use your cross-hatching to your advantage. This is a really quick and effective way of adding emphasis to our sketch. You can do this all day, every day, and it's a lot of fun to kind of understanding what kind of ideas you might have floating around when it comes to cars, if you're passionate about cars. Now these are just kind of character lines, kind of help us understand this three-dimensional sculpture. Okay, so we have our basic kind of line sketch. Now for here, we can kind of start to understand how this car might work in real life. So I'm going to start adding some kind of general shade, and I'm going to be using a digital marker. Digital marker works a little bit different than a normal marker, of course. Digital marker, you can go ahead and erase it, because obviously our real world kind of marker doesn't like to erase. I'm also going to be adding kind of a little bit of the background. This background is just kind of help our eye understand that it's living in the real world. And we'll kind of just go back with our digital eraser and just kind of add a little bit of style to it, a little bit of reflection. And a little bit of speed. Every designer's a little bit different. Everybody's got their kind of little tricks, their little signature stylistic kind of nuances that they like to add. And that's kind of cool looking right now. Okay, so from there we can start to gradually get a little bit darker. Now I suggest going from about a 20% gray to about a 50% gray. Back to our digital marker. And basically this gray is going to just kind of start to help the eye understand this three-dimensional object. I'm going to go ahead and add another layer here. And when we add layers, go ahead and put it beneath the actual line sketch. And that way you can go ahead and start to kind of eliminate some of those initial lines that we did. There we go. Okay. Yep, cool. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to go even darker, the darker gray. Add another layer. Go over our wheels. Actually, let's go to our airbrush. Airbrush is pretty awesome too. And the airbrush is almost the same as the marker. It's a little bit different, but it gives us kind of results really, really quickly. And that's what we're kind of looking at when it comes to designing a side silhouette of a sports car. We want kind of just quick means of understanding our ideas. There we go. You can kind of pick and choose which lines deserve to stay and which lines need to go. Now I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit, and that's going to kind of make it a little bit easier on the eye. I'm going to add another layer. From here you can kind of just start to have a lot of fun with it. And now this design really kind of just starts to take shape and becomes a lot of fun. There we go. It's all about kind of just making the sketch, what they say, pop. We want it to pop, and we want it to be fresh and fun, and you want this sports car to be pretty cool looking. So as we kind of near the end of this design video, I want you to kind of keep in mind that when it comes to designing kind of sports cars, you want kind of fast, kind of aggressive lines generally. Long and lean lines tend to work the best. And the whole idea is really just kind of draw as much as you like and enjoy the process and have a lot of fun doing it. Okay, we can just start to kind of do our general highlights. There we go. And there you are. It's really quick. It's relatively simple. But that's a really fun means of creating our automotive design. So thank you very much. Have a good day.